Welcome to this special edition of American Robot, the 2016 Delection episode, our national freakout. I am joined here, as always, by
Jake Bentley
and Dave Sheehan.
In reverse order.
Yeah. Well, not reverse order as much as we swap the names. We do that sometimes.
and bodies
And bodies.
and souls.
We totally Freaky Friday'd. We had a Freaky Friday this morning, so we switched bodies. And
The freakiest part is it's a Saturday while we're recording this.
Yeah. So, the debates are over. We're in the home stretch,
I am so glad they're over.
as are a lot of people.
I think they were over after the first one.
They just kept going.
Pretty much, it was like the last it was like the last minute 30 where the team with the lead has the ball and there's no timeouts. The defense doesn't have any timeouts, so Hillary just kept taking a knee. So that's the way I look at it.
I mean, it's like the funny thing, I mean, I guess this is true with every debate, but like depends on who you talk to. Like Hillary, Hillary supporters, like Hillary vehemently won that. Trump supporters, Trump definitely won that. It all depends on who you talk to. I think the real loser was all of us.
Yes.
Every single one of us.
Canadian citizenship is about to explode now.
Right, no matter who wins. Yeah, and actually, one of the things that makes me really excited to talk about this with you guys is, when we do the robotic movie projects. Let's admit it. It's a big circle jerk. We all agree with each other. We all like feed into each other's thoughts. Like we don't see eye to eye on politics.
No.
Which I think is going to make a very, very fun discussion. But we're also not, Neanderthals who can't discuss things.
Nobody here's gonna say, you son of a bitch, and
Yeah. No chairs will be thrown around. Well, chairs might be thrown, but they will be for entirely different reasons.
I don't know how you guys are planning to run this, but if you guys don't agree with everything I say, you're all Mussolini and I am out of here.
Okay. Well, anyway, before we start, we have to welcome once again our crack producer. You know him. You love him. Mr. Melman Aadum. Melman doesn't really have any political leanings.
No. Melman is very independent.
Yeah, he wore a sticker, the pro Trout party.
He's definitely pro Trout.
Last election, he voted for a jar of honey.
Yeah, Melman would.
I mean, that's not a terrible way to go this year either.
A jar of honey would actually be an improvement.
He's a pioneer then.
Yeah. So, I'll start off by saying that this is the most bizarre election I ever remember. I remember Carter Ford. I remember Reagan Carter, Reagan Mondale. I remember that's how far back I go. I might even have a little bit of Nixon thrown in there.
Oh, wow.
Sure. Yeah, I do remember. I might slightly remember Nixon resigning that summer.
When he was president or when he ran against Kennedy?
That would be a miracle. Jeez. Same thing. I got the TARDIS parked out back. I remember. Yeah, we could always relive that one. But this has been bizarre, absolutely bizarre. Policy has taken a backseat to buffoonery.
Yeah.
Jinx, buy me a Coke.
All right. I guess we do agree on some things.
But, I don't think the buffoonery part of this was ever in question.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start with Jake. What is your impressions of this election? The whole process. Take us from the point where Donald Trump announced his candidacy.
All right. So I think this entire election is a bet. That the two major parties made a bet with someone that says we can throw anybody up front and it'll be taken as legitimate. The really funny thing is, I think each individual party should have done what the opposite one did. Like, I think the Democratic Party, the Democrats should have gone with what the people decided, and the Republicans should have rigged that shit and rigged it hard.
Rigged it hard. Phrasing.
Instead, they did the opposite. The Republicans let the people pick, when they shouldn't have, and the Democrats rigged that shit when they shouldn't have.
We would have Bernie Sanders versus Ted Cruz now.
Yeah, where it's there's things to dislike about both of those, but they're not bottom of the barrel human scum like what we have now. So, I mean, they're close.
Yeah, I saw a news clip from Finland. They called Ted Cruz "greasy rat."
It's pretty.
That's a pretty. That's
I
pretty.
hope that's a hashtag if it isn't already.
Hashtag greasy rat. Yeah. So, but Dave, your assessment of of so far the process.
I agree with a lot of what Jake said. I feel like there's been a shift in the past several years in our culture in general with younger people. And again, I'm stereotyping here. This doesn't apply to all younger people, but there seems to be less and less of a understanding among let's say 20-year-olds right now as to the relevance of politics, Congress, and how it relates to their lives. They feel like there's none, and this is just this thing going on. And Donald Trump comes in, who is somebody who is also fed up with the system and says, fine, I'm going to give it a shot. And now here's a guy who is best known, well, kind of as a businessman, but also to the younger groups now, he's a TV guy. He was known as the Apprentice guy, who's, again, entertainment, reality. And it's like reality and TV reality sort of kind of like came together. And what Donald was doing certainly wasn't right, but it was way more entertaining than, stock, human library books standing in front of podiums, which many prior debates had been. So the entertainment factor, like you said, trumped, sorry to use that word, like you said, policy. It's just, we just want to see what's going to happen next. Well, what about, immigration and the economy and all these important things? Who cares? I just want to watch the mayhem ensue.
Does entertainment and politics now have merged? Does this mean by 2024 we'll be swearing in President Kardashian?
Oh God, it couldn't. Oh, I mean, could that be any worse than what our two options are now?
She run against Kiefer Sutherland.
Jack Bauer, President Jack Bauer. Actually, he is the president now on television, the designated survivor. But he's Canadian, but that wouldn't stop him from being. It didn't stop Ted Cruz from running.
Didn't stop Ted Cruz from running. No. I don't know. I think we're locked in a battle of two people who want the title of president, but not really any of the responsibilities that go along with it. They just want to pat themselves on the back with the title, in my opinion.
Exactly. Trump is just, with his mindset, he thinks he's the greatest thing to ever happen to the earth. So in his mind, how could somebody like that not win? And Hillary, on her way to, clinching the nomination, when Sanders was like really encroaching on her territory, was saying things like, Bernie, it's time to give it up. I won. Like, if she was really succeeding, she wouldn't need to say that.
Yeah.
That would just happen, and she should welcome the competition. No, but it's like, no, I've been promised this by the people who promised it to me, or, whatever's going on.
And then we found out that was actually the case.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I voted for Bernie in the Democratic primary. The only reason why I'm a registered Democrat is so that I could vote against the incumbent mayor we had for 20 years here. I'm not going to mention his name because I'm still trying to forget him. So, but I voted for Bernie Sanders, and I don't want to say it was rigged for Hillary, but so much as the deck was stacked against Bernie Sanders. You had the entirety of the Democratic machine supporting Bernie Sanders. No, they were supporting Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry.
Yeah, supporting Hillary.
And you really do feel that this was Hillary's turn to run.
Yeah. I would say rigged as in, obviously they can't go into the polls and change around they can't change around who voted for what, but rigged as in how I think the NFL is rigged sometimes, where the NFL can't decide what play each team calls, but they have referees on the side who can throw flags at whatever they want to throw at. I think it was rigged in that it was definitely manipulated by by the Democratic Party to the point where I don't think Sanders really could have won.
The league would prefer this team to win. They would prefer the Dallas Cowboys to win as opposed to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, and they pretty much did everything in their power to make sure it happened, short of going into the ballot and changing.
Yeah, I mean, there were stories about people who signed up to vote within the time limits that were expressly stated, and then were told, "Oh no, you had to do this months ago." There were incidents of that in multiple states, and that stuff like that may have happened in prior, elections leading up to presidential elections. I don't remember really hearing anything like that.
Well, now it's more prevalent. Now you hear about it more, is where it might have been just an anomaly in previous elections, but now it's that issue is getting pushed to the forefront.
And I don't hate to say this, but Trump is, one of the positive things on the Trump side is that, that he was kind of calling attention to that. I mean, not that he's the only one, but some of the things he has said about what's wrong with the opposing party is stuff you've never heard a candidate say is wrong with the opposing party. Some of it's complete BS, obviously. Yeah, absolutely. But
I want to just specify here, I'm not pro-Trump at all, but there may be times in this where I kind of defend him a little bit, mostly because people like to act like Hillary is completely different or completely better than Trump. The way I look at it, it's the big bad wolf who stands at your front door and tells you he's going to huff and puff and blow your house down, versus the big bad wolf who dresses up like your grandma and tells you how pretty you are. Yeah, one of them on the surface sounds a lot better, but the story ends the same way. You're getting eaten alive.
Oh, I'm going to huff and puff and blow your house down, but then I'm going to have Trump come in and rebuild your house. It's going to be a bigger house than ever before. It's going to have a big, beautiful door for your grandma. No problem. We're going to get it done under budget and on time.
Dude, was that Bernie Sanders supporting Trump?
I tell you, Jake Bentley, we are going to have a better house than we have had before. You don't have to worry about your grandma. She'll be well taken care of. And Red Riding Hood will get free college.
I think the previous guy was Mayor Quimby, actually.
Era, Mayor Quimby. Okay, but so
and I will say, I've never had any inkling to vote for Trump until I've watched the SNL skits, like, of the debates. That has made me want to. I'm voting third party. I'll come out and say it now, and I'm sure that'll be a topic of our discussion later. But yeah, no, that Saturday Night Live has kind of pushed me to wanting to root for Trump because of just how obnoxious some of their.
The solution then is we have to vote for Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. You're not voting for Trump. You're voting for Alec Baldwin as Trump. That's actually what the solution is. If we could have Alec Baldwin play Donald Trump in the White House for 4 years, that would be preferable.
Oh, that'd be great. And I mean, I will say the one upside to Trump in my head is, you can look at this as trying to keep the glass half full, but if he ends up becoming the president, he's not going to do anything.
No, his agenda is dead on arrival.
Yeah, he's just going to hand it off to his cabinet, and hopefully, he picks people smarter than he is.
But one of the things, though, that will happen is that he will go along with whatever, because the House is still going to be most likely controlled by the Republicans.
Yeah.
Paul Ryan writes the budget. Paul Ryan is a douchebag. I've never liked Paul Ryan, and he's a coward. Paul Ryan is a coward because Trump has been doing all these horrible revelations about him groping women and everything.
Yeah.
I denounce his behavior, but I'm still voting for him. I still endorse him. I'm like, if you had any balls, you would say, you know what? That's it. You're done. And he said, just go out, take your lumps in this election, and then in 2020 or 2024, you find a candidate that is, after you've rebuilt the party, you find a candidate that is worthy of your time and energy. But he hasn't done that. He's so worried. He wants to keep his speakership so bad. He said he didn't want to be speaker. Now he's speaker. Now he has that position. He wants to stay there.
It's an image thing. His party is crumbling around him, and rather than try to find effective ways to get it strong again, it's just like, well, he's the guy, so we got to do it, even though he's terrible.
Well, I think too. I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. People like to make a big deal about Trump and his groping of women. It doesn't bother me as much. And I know people are probably going to freak out, but I mean, I can name you dozens of presidents who were misogynistic womanizers.
President Bill Cosby.
I mean, Bill Clinton, JFK, and these are prominent.
Hey, I didn't have sex with that woman. I haven't touched Hillary in years.
I thought you were going to say, I can name dozens of women that I've groped, and they're fine with it. And we'd both believe you if that's what you
said. No, absolutely.
Oh, Monica, yeah, shagged and rotten, baby. Woohoo!
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing new. It's nothing new for I'm more I think I'm more concerned with this is like I said, never going to support Trump, never going to vote for Trump. But I think I'm a little more bothered by some of the things Hillary has done versus the things Trump has said.
I'm no fan of Hillary Clinton. I'm not a fan. I'm not. A lot of her things, a lot of her policies have something to be desired. She voted for the war in Iraq.
Yeah,
I am not crazy about that. Okay, looking back, it was. I understand that she might have been painted into a corner. Everybody was questioning people's patriotism back then. Okay, I get it. But still, you could have been the one that stood up and said, you know what? This is wrong.
No, instead it was Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, Bernie. Yeah, Bernie, my man Bernie. So, but... And
the other thing, too, is I don't think there's anything wrong with making a mistake and coming out and saying, I made a mistake. Hindsight is 20/20. If I could go back, maybe I'd vote differently, or and that's one of the things I can't stand about Hillary. I know me as a person, I've grown a lot. If I could go back and have a conversation with myself 5-10 years ago, I'd fighting tooth and nail with myself. Yeah. I don't believe the things I used to believe. I don't hold the same views that I used to hold. It's okay to change your mind as you get older. That doesn't make you a flip-flopper. That makes you someone who learns. Yeah. And she will change the things she says, but instead of saying, I've grown older, I've grown wiser, I now know better, it's, no, I always thought that way.
Yeah, well... I feel the same way as you do. If you could go back, like I said, hindsight is 20/20, and if you could go back and change things, I always say to that question, hell yeah, I would. Oh, but you wouldn't be the person you are today. Really? Do you really think this is really the best I can be? To paraphrase the army. Yeah. I'm not exactly being all I can be here. Okay, but that's another topic for another time. But we have this thing in America is that if you make a decision, even if it's wrong, you have to stand by that decision now.
Yeah.
Even if it's wrong. I say, well, you know what? I benefit from wisdom. Looking back, it was right. No, you have to stand by that decision. You could be wrong all day.
And you have to.
And you have to. But as long as you stand by that, that's strength.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not strength. That's stupidity.
That's stubbornness.
Yeah.
But looking at politicians just as people, like you said, you might not like a few things that this person voted for 10 years ago. Again, speaking generally, or the one particular thing they favor, but that alone enough to say I can't vote for that person? Because what about your friends and family members who you love and who have made a mistake here and there but have learned from them? But I'm just saying, like, we tend to idealize politicians. Like, they should be doing everything they ever said they were going to do. They said during the election, I'm going to do A, B, and C. Then when they got into office, they didn't. Well, it's overwhelming to be in office, and you may want to do these things, but other things might take precedence. So you have this, like, perfect vision of what things are going to be like, and that tends to taint how we look at an election. This one, again, is off the charts, crazy. But generally speaking, we give politicians a bad rap in certain respects that we necessarily shouldn't sometimes.
And I think too, we kind of don't have an idea of the things that goes on when you are
Right.
a candidate. Like let's look at Obama, for example. Obama, said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. He got in office and he wasn't able to, but that's because there's a lot of factors working against you. He wanted to go in the way of universal health care, which I'm personally not a fan of, but that's what he wanted to do, but he wasn't able to do it because he had pushback from people like me who oppose it, and some sort of compromise was reached, and the compromise turned out to be not, there's good parts to it, there's bad parts to it. So you can't, I think I'm starting to realize, I think that's the reason a lot of politicians don't make solid promises, because a lot of these things are just beyond your control.
It's a team effort. Yeah, you're one person taking that office, but you're not running it by yourself.
People like to lionize Bernie Sanders. If Bernie Sanders was president, we would all get free college, and we would all. No, we wouldn't.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, no, but he could do some good things, but like anyone else, he may mean to do certain things he just can't get to.
The free college part, I was saying about how, I think I've had this discussion with you guys. We have it's not free college in the UK, but it's super cheap.
Yeah.
It's like $3,000 a year. It's like I looked it up. It's £1,700 a year, which is like $3,000 to us.
Yeah.
You should not be paying $10,000 a year to go to a state university, especially to a Connecticut state university.
Yeah. There's definitely things, he could do. Well, free college across the board may not be feasible, but we can do things like stop funding all these for-profit colleges. I'm going to name some, but like your Lincoln Techs and your Branford Halls. They give like $500 million to these for-profit colleges every year. You stop funding those. And maybe start pushing towards online courses from state schools. Maybe community colleges.
Yeah.
You pay for it. You can put a dent in that, and you can have forms of free education. It's not going to be across the board, but ways to do affordable. There are ways to do it, but blanket statements like college is going to be free, you probably couldn't get away with doing.
Well, it sounds good.
Oh, it does. It sounds phenomenal.
You kidding me? Hey, free college. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that would undo all the student loans that the government wants us all to have.
Yeah, actually, student loan is actually one of the biggest drivers of debt now. There's over like $1 trillion in student loan debt.
It's unreasonable.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about they're afraid of like big pharma or big GMO, big organic. We need to be afraid of big academia. That's the one we really need to actually.
I call it the university industrial complex.
Yeah, so, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, because even what was, and this is going slightly off topic, but when eBay first hit, what was the big concern from academia? Oh, we're going to lose the monopoly on the bookstores.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can't have our students buying books on eBay. Well, why the hell not? Oh, well, because then they were more concerned about protecting those profits than actually getting the books into their hands.
Yeah.
Like if they were smart, they would open up their own bookstore on eBay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it does, like I said, they don't. There's this lack of a bigger picture. But you said, again, we were talking about what sounds good. I don't know about you guys. From Trump, we don't hear any policy. It's probably not because he doesn't have any experience, but again, going back to the reality aspect of it, reality TV aspect, policy is boring.
Oh, policy is extremely boring.
What happened when Al Gore said, well, I have a 9-point plan to put Social Security into a lockbox. That turned out, George Bush say, I'm gonna get things good. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, you're George Bush too.
George Bush. We got battling bushes now.
Battling bushes.
Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. So we got battling bushes.
Battling bushes.
So yeah, but yeah, policy is boring to a lot of people, and it turns them off.
Yeah,
people want to hear stuff that it sounds good now. Oh yeah. Oh, a wall. The wall sounds great.
Yeah, drive-through policy. Like,
Yeah, drive-through.
Just give me the cliff notes. Give me one thing, and that's it.
Give me a sound bite. Give me something that I can remember. Build a wall. What other free college was from Bernie.
Yeah.
Make America great. Oh, how are you gonna make America great? No,
Build a wall.
Build a wall.
Discuss your junk size.
Gonna talk tough with China. Yeah. What's he gonna do? He's gonna talk tough with China. He's gonna discuss the size of his junk with the Chinese. Look, I have the bigger junk than you. Listen.
You have tiny junk. That makes me the king of this place. Forgive our debt.
I can fix whatever's wrong.
Yes, only I can fix it. Yeah. So, like I said, there's no. I don't know who said it. There's no there. So, like I said, but policy is boring to people, and so this is the stuff they want to hear. Oh yes, he says what I like. I'm voting for him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but
and I mean, this is going down a completely different rabbit hole, but I think if you sat down with 80% of voters, they don't even know the policy of each individual candidate. They align themselves with a party for some reason, and they just go by whatever the party says. It's always my party is evil, or my party is great, your party is evil.
Dogma is more important than actual substance to many people.
Yeah.
The other thing is importantly said, if you sat down people 80%, and we see those Trump supporters and Hillary supporters are guilty of this too. Everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everybody supporters. When you press them, they come back to the talking points again.
Yes.
Build a wall. I like his policy. Build a wall. Talk tough. Hillary, debt-free college.
Anything my running mates did wrong.
Yes.
Let's just go back to that.
Yeah.
I am the antithesis of this guy. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, with Ted Cruz, Ted Cruz is just going to.
Oh my gosh.
The ultimate irony was that, and this is going to come back to haunt Tedwardo Cruz, is that he was calling Donald Trump a sniveling coward, and there he is answering phones with the Trump Pence sign behind him. Not helping your chances in 2020 there, Teddy boy.
No. Honestly, I think I would have hated Ted Cruz more than Trump.
Actually, Ted Cruz's old college roommate said Ted Cruz is the most reprehensible human being he's ever encountered. He said that he has absolutely no redeeming values whatsoever. I'm like, yeah, I believe it.
I believe that too, wholeheartedly.
I would say millennials talk about irony. I'm like, irony is not just something that's weird. Irony is the Canadian-born son of a Cuban refugee running for president of the United States on an anti-immigration platform. That's irony.
Yeah, pretty much. I think out of the three of us, I'm probably the one who leans the most conservative. Can't stand him. Cannot stand Ted Cruz.
Yeah, but after when you get a chance, look up that photo of him answering phones with the Trump Pence sign behind him. I'm like, yeah, it's over.
Yeah, no, you're
done.
You're done.